Hi there. In this video, we'll be covering professional ghostwriting secrets revealed. These are the hidden little messages and things that you might not realize going into the partnership, but you definitely want to keep in mind as you start working with a ghostwriter. By the end of this video, you will learn the truth about the ghostwriter-author relationship, how to steer clear of scams, and why you probably shouldn't ask your ghostwriter to work for free. And stay tuned until the end of the video for a free resource I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. I think it's awesome that you're considering working with a ghostwriter to tell your story. It can be so powerful to bring your message forward in the best way possible, to clarify your message, to help you take the next step in your journey. I've seen my clients transform their life because of the book that we wrote together. And ultimately, the book is for the author and it's also for the reader. You know, it can transform a reader's life too, but there are so many little things that you need to keep in mind about working with the ghostwriter. And the first one is that all ghostwriters are not the same. Some ghostwriters deal only in fiction or only in nonfiction. Some do both. Some are subject matter experts on specific topics and might only work with specific clients. A close friend of mine, she works with entrepreneurs, and that's her client base, which is great. I see myself as more of a generalist. I work on so many different types of projects, and that really goes back to my news journalism days where, you know, I would be in the newsroom and something would happen, breaking news story, and I would jump on it. It didn't matter what the topic was about. I didn't have a chance to think about it. It was just, let's write about this today. That was such an intriguing process, and it really shaped the way that I approach books today. And I think it actually helps me write better books for wider audiences. I think specifically to a project I've been working on with a group of cross-country runners, and I'm really proud of the book. It's such a powerful story that they're sharing. And I went into it being completely honest with them and saying, I don't have any cross-country experience. I vaguely know about it. I've written about it from time to time, but I'm not an expert. And I think that helped. I think it helped to write a better, wider audience book. You know, I have so much experience with sports books, baseball books. Because of that, I was able to pull on these various themes and to write a generalized book. As you begin considering a ghostwriter, think about their experiences and how they can help you bring out your message and your story and what kind of experience they have to help you reach your goals with your book. My next secret is not all clients are the same. Every single project is different. Every single client is different. The way that they communicate, whether they like email, text, phone calls, whatever the case may be. Some work on phone calls, some work on Zoom. Every single project and every single client is different. And I try not to have a one-size-fits-all approach to the projects I work on because the client's needs are different. Sometimes I find myself ghostwriting and guiding the writing myself. Sometimes the clients are providing writing themselves. Sometimes it's a blend. Sometimes they will jump in and take areas of the book to write and I will work on it and refine it and put it all together. Because not all clients are the same, you want to find the ghostwriter who's going to treat you like the unique individual that you are and not treat you like everybody else. When I think about ghostwriting companies and self-publishing companies, they often focus on putting clients in different tiers of service. And I think that's a misguided approach because every single project's different, everybody's needs are different, and ultimately it's tough to shoehorn somebody into a service level. You know, it's why I have various tiers of service to meet people where they are, but ultimately every single client's different and you should be treated as such, as the unique project and unique story that you have. Ultimately with ghostwriting, you get what you pay for. If you go and find somebody on Upwork and Fiverr who doesn't have a lot of experience, it's likely that you're going to get low quality work in return. And if you find somebody who has lots of experience, even if it costs more money, you're going to get higher quality work in return. You get what you pay for. And it's not easy to cut corners. You can't find somebody who has less experience and think that you're going to write the best book possible. It's just not likely. So it's really important for you to go into this with clarity and with understanding that the decisions that you make in terms of finding and hiring a ghostwriter are going to influence the quality of the work and influence your path forward. It's easy to go on Google and find any service that you can. It's safe to work with a company. There's a level of credibility there. But ultimately with a lot of these companies, and I'm not saying all of them, there's some really good ones out there, But with some of these companies, you're paying for things that you don't need. You want to work with somebody who's only going to charge you for the services that you require and that you need. Everything else is an add-on. Everything else is wasted cost. You know, if you're paying for things that you don't need, it's really keeping you from accomplishing the goals that you have and accomplishing all of the things that you want to accomplish. These frills and add-ons are getting in the way of that. So think about that. When you work with a company or consider working with a company, break down what your service pays for. What are you getting in return? And if there are things in that agreement that aren't needed for you, get rid of them. See if you can lower the cost. One issue I run into pretty consistently is people asking for free ghostwriting help, you know, and maybe they'll give me a cut of the royalties after the fact. That means I could be working on something for 1 to 2 years before I get a dime for it. That's not a great outcome for me. I'm not saying that royalties can't be a part of the process, and maybe it's an add-on, maybe it's a cherry on the top of the arrangement. When you get work done at your house, whether it's raking leaves or plumbing or something else, you don't pay the person nothing and then tell them, I'll pay you after the fact. Oh, the house went up in value, so I'll pay you afterwards. It's not how it works. You know, it's ultimately discouraging when people talk to me about that as though my time is free. And ultimately, I've done free work for things that I really care about. I've worked for free on books for years and years because they mattered to me. So I'm not saying I don't do free work, but it's work that I decide I want to work on for free, that it's valuable in other ways. When people start to consider working with me and not paying me, there's a problem. You know, and I'm always happy to talk about arrangements, but there should be some level of payment in order for me to do work. When that happens to me, it's discouraging. It really kills off my enthusiasm, you know, and I hate to sound that way, but that's the truth. I mean, I have only so much time in a day, and if I'm doing free work for this person and this person and this person, I have to find a way to pay the bills. So there's a balance at play, and it's always difficult when talking about money, but even a little bit of money, even something is better than free pro bono. My biggest secret for working with a ghostwriter is that when you work with a ghostwriter, you shouldn't know the difference at the end of it. That your ghostwriter should do such a good job of collaborating with you, and you're working on the project at every step of the way, that this sounds like you, that this is the book that you wanted to publish, and it doesn't feel any less than, that somehow that this isn't your book anymore, that it's somebody else's book. It's your book. Your name is on the cover. You are the author. It's okay to get help. And great relationships with a ghostwriter can be so collaborative and so meaningful and so special. And at the end of the day, this is your book. So don't think of it as the ghostwriter's book or think of it as you giving away the opportunity to tell your story. This is the opportunity to tell your story in the best way possible. So it's really important to find the right ghostwriter to help you bring your story out and help you feel ownership in your story. Working with a book ghostwriter shows you're committed to the project. It shows that you want this. It shows that you're going to take the next step. But even though you have so much enthusiasm around the book, so many things can go wrong, which is why I really want you to watch the next video on the screen. It's called 7 Critical Steps to Working with a Ghostwriter. In that video, I cover the contract process, the interview process and the importance of interviewing candidates for ghostwriting, the power of vulnerability, and how to bring out the best in meetings. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.